Hey, what's up? It's Todd Smith. I'm back with another video. In this video, I want to speak about my SD-1, or more specifically, how I got a VFXsd that got an upgrade to an SD-1. A very rare upgrade that not many people have, and it's throwing some people off when I make my SD-1 videos. Pretty much every video I make about my SD-1 has at least one comment with somebody being like, dude, I hate to break it to you, but that's not an SD-1. And when anybody asks me in the future, it gives me a quick link to give them this video that can just explain the whole story. If you look at my synthesizer, it actually says the Ensoniq VFXsd, which was actually the latest development in the VFX line. After the VFXsd came the SD-1. The SD-1 was a lot like the VFX and the VFXsd, but it had more spec, more juice. But the case they were 100% identical. The only real difference was the logo of the SD-1 in the VFX and the VFXsd. The logo is pretty much the only difference. This allowed users to pay Ensoniq for an upgrade from the VFXsd1 to the SD-1 if they wanted to. Now, you had to send in your keyboard to Ensoniq, and they had to switch out the whole entire motherboard. This wasn't something you could just update in your back room plugged into a USB drive like today. You had to send a big heavy keyboard to a company for them to replace the motherboard. This Ensoniq has been out of business for a long time, and this happened to be a pretty rare upgrade done, and not many people did it. I just happened to own one of those rare upgrades. It's a SD-1 in VFXsd clothing. And not only is it an SD-1, it is an actual second generation SD-1. The original SD-1 shared the same amount of poly, or voices, as the VFXsd did. But there was a second SD-1 that came out that had 32 voices. And I've done a voice test on my keyboard, and my keyboard maxes out at 32. This tells me it's the most advanced version of the SD-1, and now I'll just show you by example.